Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard. I want to talk to you today about energy drinks. In 2009, a young 14-year-old girl drank two 24-ounce cans of an energy drink called Monster and died. The coroner report showed that there was caffeine toxicity. It made many folks wonder if these energy drinks are actually safe. Now, there's about 13 wrongful death lawsuits filed against an energy drink called 5 Hour Energy, about 93 FDA reports complaining about these energy drinks being toxic and dangerous to one's health. So there's a lot of investigation taking place whether or not these are providing too much caffeine. Well, from the caffeine perspective, one 8-ounce can of energy drink is about 80 milligrams of caffeine. One 8-ounce cup of coffee is about 80 milligrams of caffeine. It takes about 16,000 milligrams of caffeine to kill you. It's about 100 cups of coffee. It takes about 5,000 for you to get an overdose, but only 400 milligrams of caffeine a day is considered unsafe, and for a teenager it's only 100. So it's very easy for children, young adults, teenagers, and the average age of these energy drink users are about 17 years old. So it's very easy for these kids to overdose in caffeine, and so much of it depends on the individual sensitivity. Some kids can drink a ton of it and be okay, and some kids can't. I think it really boils down to individual sensitivity. But there's some interesting facts. In 2010, the Australian Poison Control Center did a report, and they found like 297 complaints against these energy drinks. 1/3 of them were actually with co-ingesting other things like alcohol and other stimulants and things like that. But 2/3 of them were actually just from the energy drink alone. So it's questionable whether it's the individual sensitivity, that sensitivity on top of other drinks, substances, alcohol, stimulants that can be compounding. Other thing that happens with kids is they drink a lot of alcohol, they drink a lot of caffeine, and their body builds a tolerance to it. So they keep ratcheting up the amount of alcohol and the amount of caffeine that they can drink. And now all of a sudden what used to get them energy to study all night was a couple of cups of coffee. Now they need 6 or 7 or 10 cups of coffee, and that's when they run the risk of overusing these energy drinks, which is particularly significant. Not to mention the fact that these energy drinks are not just made from caffeine. In fact, they're loaded with amino acids, which are concentrated proteins. They're loaded with vitamins in concentrated forms. They're loaded with other exotic herbs that are stimulating and drive energy in the body in other ways other than caffeine. So when you combine this whole kind of cocktail of energizing agents, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, herbs, we don't have enough research to know how these interact. When you take extracts of plants and you put them together, you're basically taking the active ingredient in a plant and you're concentrating it, you're giving it to a child, and you're taking many of those together, and that's when we run into interaction. So I believe that a lot of the issues here are, number one, overdoing the caffeine. Number two, not having the manufacturers not really knowing what happens when you combine so many of these exotic ingredients together and then take them at high doses, which kids will do because they do build a tolerance to these things, and that becomes a problem. So I really think you have to look at these energy drinks carefully. Caffeine is oftentimes giving the body energy which it doesn't really have. And if we are stimulating the body to make energy which it doesn't have, it's going to go into debt, and it's going to become exhausted, and then therefore not have the resiliency or tolerance to handle that kind of stimulation down the road, and that can cause problems. And in young kids with individual sensitivities to alcohol, to caffeine, to stimulants, it can be very, very dangerous. So please be aware. And there are many natural ways, herbs that I believe in use in my practice. There are many herbs we call adaptogenic herbs, herbs like ashwagandha that can give you energy in the morning, but also put you to sleep at night. Try drinking a glass or a can of Monster and going to sleep. It's not going to happen because it's stimulating you to make energy which you don't have. Other herbs like shilajit and brahmi and gokshra, herbs that I talk about in the article associated with this video, herbs that naturally rebuild and rejuvenate the body so it has the energy to become, if it has to push itself through the night and study, it can do that. Vitamin B12 is one of the major ingredients in these drinks. But when you take vitamin B12 by itself, it can be very safe. It's a water-soluble vitamin. That combined with so many other herbs, amino acids, and stimulants it can be at risk. And also vitamin D, a deficiency that affects about 80% of the American population, can also be a factor that cuts down on the stamina and allows this stress that our kids are oftentimes under, whether it be studying or late night movie watching or video games incessantly. This can all deplete the nervous system and put them at risk not only for immune issues, but also maintaining stable mood and also optimal health. And also at high levels can be very dangerous. So please read the article associated with this video. Let's get educated about these energy drinks and be logical about them. In moderation, they're going to be fine. But for a sensitive child who's sensitive to foods, this is a road I wouldn't hoe, because we don't have enough information to know how all these concentrated extract substances work together at high doses over the long term. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.